It's like you get back half of it, you got a shot. You got a shot. And Sills made a great kind of leaping, falling, butt landed in bounds before he landed out of bounds. And that saved the game. That saved it. Not that play. Not that play. This is the drive. There's the play that gets half of it back, and this is the play that saves the game. Throws out to the right. Sills jumps
Great
up.
catch.
Two guys there. Incredible. And in comes Zane Gonzalez to kick the field goal. And one image we could have shown in there, and we're going to get to this part of the experience. Mike Evans was pissed. Did you see Mike Evans before they kicked that field goal? Mike Evans was pissed.
And I know. This is my pet peeve, and I know it's yours too. And I thought of it last night. I said, Florio must be going crazy on this too. When I go to Evans, I'm saying, just stay there. Just stay there. Nothing else. Stay with Evans. Stay with Evans the entire time. And so a few times you could see him. You could read his lips, and he was saying, I'm like, oh, what's he saying? And then they cut away. And then they go back. I'm like, why are we doing this? Stay with Evans a lot longer. But, yeah, I don't know if it was something specific that happened on the previous drive, or if I don't know if it was just what we were watching, that he felt like, just like Todd Bowles did, this is a game they should have won. And there were a lot of things. Let's face it, coaches and players, they see a lot more than we do when we're just watching the game. I bet you there were a half dozen things that Bowles is upset about last night that wouldn't be obvious to us. And the same thing with Evans. There must have been something happening there that they just found egregious, and they just couldn't believe that they were in this situation in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, see, I just thought it was general disgust when you're up 28-14 with 13:34 to play, and you blow that lead because the Falcons go right down the field, and then the Bucs start moving it. There's an interception thrown by Baker Mayfield. The Falcons don't go down the field. They come up short twice on two-point conversions. They tried the analytics game, and Chris hates this, and it's funny. Every once in a while, a broadcaster will tell on himself by acting surprised. Not that Kirk did last night. Kirk knew about it. But there have been at least one this year, and I won't name names, who told on himself that he doesn't really follow the game as much as you would think someone who is paid to talk about games while the games are happening should. It's been around for about 8-9 years now. I was going to say 6-7, but that's over. It really is about 8-9.
Don't.
But my son gave me a hard time last night because I said it several times. Like, I said it because that was the number that was required for the circumstance. I wasn't saying it to say it. I was saying it because that was the accurate number that, I needed to express my thought. But I remember it started it was 2017, 2018. Okay, you're down 14. You get a touchdown. You go for 2. If you don't get it, you're down 8. You're still down 1 score. And you can score another touchdown, go for 2, and tie it. I understand the logic, because if you get it, you're down 6. You can steal the game, and you can avoid overtime. And that's what factors into the analytics experience. It's percentage of winning the game because you can win the game while avoiding overtime. And your chance of getting that first 2-point conversion to set yourself up to win by 1 and avoid overtime, that's where the Ivy Leaguers, who are far much smarter than me, and if you're not aware of that, just ask them because they're also smarter than you. Once that happens, okay, fine, it makes sense. But if you don't make either 2-point conversions, then you're screwed. Then you need a miracle. That's I think that all set the stage for Mike Evans having a what in the hell is going on out here moment. Because he comes back from the broken collarbone. He guts it out all night long. He's getting hit. He's getting legs knocked out from under him. He's hitting the ground. They're checking his collarbone. They're checking his back. They're checking this. He got this twisted, and he's fighting through it. He wants to win. He wants to get to the playoffs again. He wants what could be his last season in Tampa Bay to mean something, and he was just livid. And I don't blame him. I'd have been livid too.
Yeah, I don't blame him. I mean, he played a great game, Mike. You talked about how he was checked during the game. A couple of the balls that he got, for a guy just coming back, he got one, and it was a serious hospital ball. He didn't make the catch. He went up high for it. It was just an off throw from Baker Mayfield, and you see how he just comes down. He lands on his back, and he slightly hits his head, and he's down for a while. There are a couple of moments in the game where Evans is down, and the players after one of his catches, the players say, "Hey," the player says, "Come over here. He needs help." I'm thinking, oh, is he hurt again? No, he was just putting it all out there, and maybe he was banged up, but he gave them everything. And they had a lot. I mean, there's not really a lot of excuses for the Bucs last night. You got Evans, you got McMillan, you got Igbuka. I mean, you got some relative health at the wide receiver spot. You've got Bucky Irving back. I mean, you have a lot of your weapons, and you're at home, and you're playing the Falcons. I mean, and you got a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. I mean, you should win that game. And I just wonder, what happens after this. I know, Todd Bowles was pretty upset about it last night. His job will come into question, but I wonder if they don't make the playoffs, if they really collapse here down the stretch, because I just figured all along that they'd find a way to win the NFC South. They'll just figure it out like they always do. They've been the top team in this division. But if they don't figure out, what does that mean for everybody else? Not just Todd Bowles. What decisions do they make? And Godwin, I didn't mention him either. Godwin is available last night. Catches a touchdown, catches a 2-point conversion. This should have been just a solid win for the Buccaneers to take control of the division. And Evans and everybody else is looking around saying, what are we doing and who are we right now?
And before we go completely and totally down the what does this mean for the Bucs and how mad are they, wait and see path, I do want to mention two other guys. I don't want to overlook anyone because it really was a team effort. And we talked about the David Sills catch. Bijan Robinson is unstoppable. He's just unstoppable. It's just amazing how when you give him any space whatsoever, he will put the proverbial clown suit on you, and he's just gone. And it's not always the Jahmyr Gibbs 70 yards to the house, but he gains 15, 20 yards. Easy to keep a drive going when you gain 15 to 20 yards every second or third time Bijan Robinson gets the ball in his hands. So he was great last night. Kyle Pitts, good Lord, the night that Kyle Pitts had. And it's a perfect time to do it because it's contract year time for Kyle Pitts. Where has this been his whole career? 11 catches, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns. The first tight end with 150 or more receiving yards and 3 touchdowns since Shannon Sharp did it in 1996. I wonder if that was the call the National Guard, call the president because we were killing the Patriots game. That may not have been 96, but maybe they should have called somebody last night. They should have called Ron DeSantis last night because they were killing the Buccaneers, and they asked somebody about it after the game. I think it was Bijan. He said that it's just about being back in Florida. Kyle Pitts, who went to Florida, back in Florida. And if I'm the Jaguars or the Dolphins or the Buccaneers, I'm taking notes because whatever came out of Kyle Pitts last night, number one, we haven't seen it nearly enough in his career. But number two, we've seen it. And it's the old Bill Walsh phrase that Peter King taught me and would periodically remind me of. If you do something one time, if you show me you can do it one time, I can coach you to do it all the time. So Kyle Pitt, and I'll never forget. And I was a little kid, and I brought home 100 on the first 100 I ever got. What a feeling. 100, right? I didn't know you could get 100. I didn't know it was possible. I figured they'd at least make one of them wrong. They don't want you to get a big head. I brought home 100.
Make it a 98.
I brought home 100. Hey, and you know what Dad said? Now do it all the time.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, are you kidding me? Really? Come on, Butch. That's what you got to say, do it all the time? But, we saw that from Kyle Pitts last night, and somebody's going to pay him to do it all the time. And the question is it going to be fool's gold, or was last night like the delayed launch of Kyle Pitts, but he was incredible.
Yeah, and Mike, look, we'd be naive to say that, nationally televised games aren't different for owners. Don't mean as much to owners as just your regular Sunday at 1 or Sunday at noon, depending on where you are in the country, games. Or in international games, too. Those games take on importance to owners more than the others. So if you see this game last night and you go to Tampa and you beat the favorite, and now you start to look at, if you're Terry Fontenot and you're Raheem Morris and Zach Robinson, you kind of make your case. You're building your case for that sit down at the end of the season with Arthur Blank. Hey, listen, this is our vision, and we didn't even have Drake London last night. But can you imagine? Look at some of the pieces we have. If you just give us more time to build this. We got Drake London. We could have Kyle Pitts, maybe not. But we got Bijan Robinson. We got all these guys who can make plays, and if we're able to just get one more year or a couple more years to get our program in place, we'll be at the top of the division like Tampa has been for the last several years. So this was even though it was Thursday night and they were eliminated and it was just their 5th win of the year, this was a big win for them. And here, I'll tell you something else, Mike. Another reason it's a big win. You're just trying to inch that thing back as much as you can. Going into last night, I think the draft pick they gave up was in the top 10. I think it was number 9 going into last night, or number 7 somewhere with the Rams. So you're trying to win as many games as you can. So that draft pick, okay, if it winds up being number 12 or 13 versus number 7, 8, or 9, it makes a big difference to the owner on draft day, when everybody's saying, how could you give up a top 10 pick in this draft?
And the Rams would have been rooting very hard last night for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they're the ones who hold that first-round pick next year. That was the James Pierce Jr. trade. I know the Falcons had a plausible explanation for doing it. Most people look at it and say, man, that was a dumb thing to do. And you're right, the higher that pick is, the more dumb it's going to look. And by the way, when I said that I don't think we're going to see the Falcons again, I had this nagging, yes, the final Monday night game of the year, December 29. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. You get the Rams and you get the Falcons. And I don't know what the flex rules are. I think we still are flexible.
Let's
for
be
that
flexible.
One. I think so.
Please.
I think
Let's
so.
be flexible.
We're all going to get flexed if they don't move that game. We're going to get fluctuated out of a enjoyable Monday night game. But no, I don't know. And then you sprinkle in the Rams have the extra incentive to beat the Falcons so they can push their draft pick a little higher. I kind of like that. I mean, even if the Rams have everything clinched, you still want to beat the Falcons and drive that draft pick a little higher. Not that they'll have everything clinched by then, but who knows? Who knows? Next Thursday night, we'll see the Rams and the Seahawks in what should be a hell of a game. But last night turned into a hell of a game. And it's one of those games, Michael, and one last point about the Falcons, because they don't win the game if offensive lineman Ryan Neusel doesn't haul ass down the field to somehow snatch from the bottom of the pile. I guess everybody else was too busy squeezing their butt cheeks, because while they're on the pile,
thank you, Devin.
Neusel.
We'll never look at the scrum the same way. Thank you, Devin McCourty.
I think all the time there's a scrum now, I shout out, squeeze your butt cheeks.
Squeeze your butt cheeks.
But Mooney fumbles inside the 10. There's 6 jerseys there. And look, all due respect to Alan Kirk, they're trying to figure out who got the ball. It's like, hey, guys, didn't you see the big dude come flying in? A big dude comes flying in because they don't get a clean recovery. The ball comes out, and it's popping around on the ground, and that's one of the realities of an oblong ball. Here comes 64. He comes flying in, and he gets the ball. And I've seen on social media all the games rigged. All they wanted to give the game to the Falcons. Not that there's no mystery there. Ryan Newsel busted his ass, and we got an item at PFT. Their offensive line coach preaches this. You continue down the field. You continue toward the ball. It reminded me of the moment that drew me into football, 1972. Almost to the day, December 23, close enough, same month. The Franco Harris catch on the Immaculate Reception. Tony Dungy says when he got to Pittsburgh, he understood why Franco made that play, because the guy never stopped. He's always running toward the ball. They were coached, always run toward the ball, and you never know what's going to happen. He was running toward the ball, and there the ball was. And if he hadn't done it, Steelers don't win that game. And if Ryan Newsel doesn't do it last night, the Falcons don't win that game. So that's the kind of effort. That's the kind of thing that has nothing to do with God-given ability. That is, what is your level of determination? And that, if I'm Arthur Blank, I'm thinking, Raheem got these guys ready to go last night. They're responding because, I talked earlier about we're getting close to the end of the season. Last thing a guy wants is a broken wrist or a torn ACL or some other injury going into the offseason. Ryan Newsel didn't care about that. There was a ball. He went to get it.
Listen, that's film, Mike. That is film session stuff all the way through. And since I mentioned Devin McCourty, I'll tell you a Patriots story. I remember when this is early in the Patriots dynasty. I think they had just won. It was a year after they won their first one. So this is like 2002, and they're going out to San Diego still. They were in San Diego out playing at Jack Murphy Stadium playing the Chargers, and LaDainian Tomlinson ran for like 200 yards against the Patriots. Belichick comes back in the film session and says, okay, I just want you to look at their level. It's not even about the yards. Look at their level of effort and look at ours. And he just kept showing the contrasting plays. Look how they're going after it. Look how they're finishing blocks. Look how hard Tomlinson is running. And what are we doing? We're turning down tackles in some cases. We're just not matching their energy. That's what happened last night. If you're Todd Bowles, okay, why did Todd Bowles drop all these F-bombs all over the place? Because of that play right there. That is effort. The game's on the line. This team is eliminated from the playoffs. Here's somebody, an offensive lineman, probably the slowest guy in that scrum, runs down there, gets on the ground and gets the ball and saves the game for his team. It's just a level of commitment and effort in a critical situation that the Falcons had as if they were playing for the playoffs, and then the Buccaneers didn't. So I understand why Todd Bowles and Mike Evans probably led the league in F-bombs last night.
That was with 5:11 to play in the game, and it wouldn't have necessarily been over because the Bucs were up one score. They would have had to hold the ball and run some clock, and we saw they had a chance to do that when it was 28-26, and they failed, so maybe they would have failed then and there too. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.